Mind yourself. Mind yourself. Mind yourself. Aaron, we start at 8. Okay, I'm doing a bunch of weird stuff with the audio again. So guys, please let me know if like you can't hear something or if something's too loud or whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. If I'm too quiet or if music's too loud or too quiet, whatever. If something sounds bad, how about that? Just let me know. And we'll get going in just a second. All right.
I'm going to try to like half eat, half hang out with the fam, and half pay attention at the same time. We're going to see how that works.
Keep your priorities right, but we're happy as much as you're here.
I'm trying to keep everyone calm because Ezra won't sleep. The dogs are going nuts. So it's just a madhouse right now. I don't know what to do.
You do your best, Shannon. That's all you got.
Okay, your dad, help me.
Close the door and meditate, and then go deal with it. Hope. Hope. Don't drink.
I don't really drink.
Good. Good. That helped no one ever in any situation ever. New Zealand. Like Angela from New Zealand. What time is it? My understanding of New Zealand time zone is like it's not a good time for you. Isn't it like the middle of the night?
I'm pretty sure it's 2024 there.
What?
They're in the future, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But isn't it like 2 a.m. or something? Or
no, I don't know.
We had somebody else who was from New Zealand in the beginning, and he's like, "Look, dude, I wanted to stay, but y'all are like on when I'm sleeping." I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. Danny, what's going on, man? All right, we're gonna wait like another minute, and then we'll go. We're gonna read for like 45 minutes, and then we'll just kind of open it up to either discuss the reading or discuss whatever y'all want to talk about, and then I'm gonna try to be out of here by like 7 to 7:15 or so, because I have not had any time with Kat for the past 7 days, really. So I would like to get some of that. We'll be here for a full 2 seconds, Mystic. Well done. Well done. Slow clap for you. Killing the game. TikTok, go to YouTube. Same username. It's 11 in the morning? Oh my god, I was way off. That's wild. Yeah, they're way in the future. That's crazy, actually. Wild. Oh, Cat. Okay. All right, we're going to be hopping back in at chapter 17. Chapter 17. My teaching of what? That's almost scary. That's almost a scary statement. Because I teach a lot of things that people are not happy about, that people don't like so much. But I feel like that is a genuine statement, so I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, cool. We're going to get going. Guys, let me know if anything is weird with the audio. I mess with it again. And I'm unskilled in this stuff. Doing the best I can to make things not sound like garbage, so just let me know. Chapter 17. Chapter 17. And they took me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they made themselves appear as men. They brought me to the place of darkness and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the lighted places and the treasuries of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depth were a fiery bow and arrow, and their quiver, and a fiery sword, and all the lightning. And they took me to the waters of life, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. If you don't get slight revelation vibes, from Enoch. I don't know what to tell you. But one thing you will notice that is very different is you'll get a lot more description and you'll get a lot more, I guess what I would call like literal text. Whereas Revelation is, without giving away the way I actually feel about Revelation, which is not great. Revelation, I believe, is intended to be impossible to follow. Enoch is actually relatively easy to follow. There's a lot of symbolism and a lot of illustrations and things that seem somewhat confusing, but if you break them down, it's relatively written in a plain way for the most part. Whereas Revelation, not so much. Back on 5, and I came to a river of fire in which the fire flows like water into the great sea toward the west. I saw the great rivers and came to the great darkness. I went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter and the place from where all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth and the mouth of the deep. I saw the storehouse of all the winds. I saw how he had adorned the whole creation with them and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which support the earth and the firmament of heaven. All the flat earthers out there, there you go, the firmament. I saw how the winds stretched out the height of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds of heaven, which turn and bring the sky and the sun and all the stars to their setting place. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament, flat earthers, of heaven above. Hello, divine brethren. There he is, Mikhail. And I continue south and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And as for those toward the east, they were of colored stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, a stone of healing, and those towards the south of red stone. Now we are going to pause right here, and we're going to talk about something that does what? It makes people cranky. Where to start? What are they talking about? What is he talking about? Stones. What kinds of stones? Stones that do something, what you might call spiritual, right? Magical, maybe wouldn't be another word for it. Do you ever hear about stuff like that in Christianity? No. And if you do, you hear about how it's heretical, or how it's demonic, or how it's sorcery. I'll tell you that Enoch is not the only place within Christian literature that talks about stones having some kind of spiritual significance. It's not, but Enoch is one that does mention it. So you have colored stone, one of pearl, one of jacinth, I think is how you say that. Y'all know I do the best I can with pronunciation. I don't claim to know how to say it exactly, which is a stone of healing. And those towards the south of red stone. There will be more as we continue to go through Enoch, but this is just something to kind of stop, take a minute, process that information. If you're going to take Enoch as anything valid, even if not scripture, don't care. As inspired, don't care. But if you're going to take it as something that is valid and at the very least interesting, and at the very most substantial, for us to understand a better full context of the Christian faith in general, specifically how it was back then, which in my opinion is what everybody should kind of care about more than anything else. Nobody should care about how Christianity is now. We shouldn't care that everybody hates all this type of stuff now. Who cares? We're as far away from Christ as possible. Literally. Only people in the future will be further away from Christ than us. So we are the furthest away from Christ on this earth as ever has been. So we should strive to want to be in the mindset and the perspective of people who were there. People who Jesus quoted this author. We should want to be in the perspective of them, back then. What were they thinking? What were they talking about? What were they writing in their literature to one another? And why would Jesus quote something from an author? Now, it doesn't make any of this valid. I'm not saying New Age stones and crystals and whatever are like of great importance in Christianity. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying it's something you need to see as a reality and try to make that make sense in your head and be okay with it. You have to be okay with it. Because just like the Christian Bible, the Canon, you don't get to pick and choose what makes you feel good or what aligns with what you already believe is true. You either take all of it or you take none of it, or you're a hypocrite and annoying. And we don't want to be hypocrites or annoying. So just understand, this is one of those things, one of many, many things as we get through all this. And it clicks into what we've been talking about for, I feel like, months, about how spirituality, things that are inherently spiritual, have been pulled out of the Bible, intentionally pulled out of the Bible. This may be one, this may not be one. I don't have a strong opinion about like crystals and healing stones and stuff like that. I don't. It's not something I've ever really cared about. It's not something I've spent a whole bunch of time researching or looking into. I do have a subtle intrinsic feeling that these things are of the earth. And the Bible in several different places, including Paul, talk about how anything from the earth is of God. And is it? Obviously, duh. God made everything, right? If you're a Christian, you believe God created everything that is on this planet. Therefore, who knows, man? Maybe some stones and some feathers or what? Who knows, dude? Maybe some things from the earth have some kind of significance. But either way, even if they don't, they are of God. So even if just for the fact they're of God, they have significance in that way. Danny, yeah, New Age, basically. But not New Age, right? Because we're in very strict traditional Christianity. But yeah, it would make you think New Age. If you talk to a modern Christian who wasn't educated, they're going to say New Age. Come on, camera, figure it out. There you go. Jalen, no, but I think it's because most were depending more on the stones than God himself. They started idolizing them. Lucifer was covered in stones in heaven. We want to be careful in the way we view stones. That's the way we view music. Lucifer was also the head musician. That's a good point. Yes. So in the same way, I guess it's kind of like how I talk about anything, right? Is something inherently good or bad that you do? Or is it, in most cases, is it like the condition of your heart? Are you doing it with the good condition of your heart? Some of those things can still have negative consequences and can still be bad and can still be heretical or can still be damaging. Sure. But there's a lot of things in life, in our lives on a daily basis that can either be good or bad, depending on the condition of your heart and your intentions. The thing isn't what's wrong, nor is the thing what's right. The thing is just a thing. Your condition, your intentions, why you're doing it, what you're hoping to gain from it, that is what makes something either moral or immoral. I would say, again, without having really an opinion, because I don't care about things like crystals and stones and whatever, one, they definitely came from God, which inherently makes me think they're probably good. Does that mean they're of value? I don't know, but it means they're good. God made them. They're not man-made. So they got to have some kind of good. Does it mean they're magical? I don't know. I have no idea. But they're probably good. Beyond that, I think it does come down to, why are you doing it? What are you doing? What are your intentions? Are you, like Jalen said, are you putting the crystals above God? Are you relying on a rock to heal you more than God? Like, yes, that would be wrong. That would not be good. Are you using the crystals to connect to God in some way because God made them? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. But I could understand that. I could get that. And I wouldn't say anything was ever wrong about that. All right, rant over. Verse 8. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God and was made of alabaster. And the summit of the throne was of sapphire. There you go again. Ezekiel 1:22 through 28. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and every one had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man upon it. Hope you're following, man. Some of these you got to read several times for it to click, because just the way they wrote. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it. From the appearance of his loins, even upward, and from the appearance of his loins, even downward. I saw, as it were, the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spoke. Now, give me 2 seconds. One, I have a question, and we're not going to get into it, okay? What do you guys think about the firmament? That's all. I'm not asking you about the flat earth. If you decide to bring up the flat earth, that is on you. But let's not put flat earth in the chat. YouTube already hates us, okay? Don't put flat earth in the chat. Put FE in the chat if you have anything to say about the flat earth. But what do you guys think about the firmament? Because it doesn't inherently have anything to do with the flat earth theory, just so everybody is aware. Because I feel like at this point in 2023, if you speak about the firmament, everybody thinks you're a flat earther. And that's they don't necessarily have anything to do with each other. It's just a lot of flat earthers use the firmament to kind of depict what they believe about the flat earth. But what do you guys think about that? And I'm going to quickly pull up a different Bible so I can read things to you guys in something that's going to make more sense, because you're not reading it yourself. You're just hearing it. So I want that to be a little bit easier. 2 seconds. And then we'll pick up there in 10. Where'd my stuff go, man? Same as the ozone? I don't know. I'd say, let me see, pop out. All right, Danny says, I'd say it's the way ancient folk got around what they saw looking up into the sky. But why do you think they saw it that way? I agree to a point. I do. I agree to a point. But why? I guess why do you think that was the way they perceived it? That would be my question. Why would they perceive it that way specifically? That's what kind of interests me about it. All right, I got a Bible ready. Okay, verse 10. And I saw a great abyss of the earth, which pillars of heavenly fire, and I saw among them fiery pillars of heaven, which were falling. And as regards both height and depth, they were immeasurable. And beyond that abyss, I saw a place which had no firmament of heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. So this is like a floating land. There was no water on it, and no birds. But it was a desert and a horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains, and an angel questioned me regarding them. The angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come out at their proper times." Super poetic. Super poetic. I'm going to read that again. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come out at their proper time. 16. And he was angry with them and bound them until the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years. And then we'll go into chapter 19. I'm going to go through this chat real quick, though. His rain falls from the sky, maybe, possibly. Dakota, I was basically taught that it was a layer of water in the sky that surrounded the earth. Interesting. So I guess my question to you, Dakota, would be, so how do you reconcile what you've learned about, mainstream science then? Do you take the firmament idea, or do you take the water in the sky idea? Or is it more of a vapor? Because obviously vapor, that makes sense. But for actual water, it would be hard to reconcile that concept with what we're taught, in school, or just in the mainstream scientific community. Jalen, maybe the sky was more clear back then and could see further into the sky. Maybe they saw more than us. We all know that a lot, for some reason, is hidden from us. Yeah, it goes deep, man. This whole question goes super deep. And obviously you can get into crazy conspiracy land, but I think even without going into crazy conspiracy land, it's wild to kind of think about. And some of the things you can find that seem relatively valid. Pretty wild. Chapter 19. And Uriel said to me, "The angels who have had sex with the women shall stand here, and their spirits, having assumed many different forms, are defiling mankind and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand until the day of the great judgment in which they shall be judged and are made an end of. You got 1 Timothy 4:1. I'm going to pull this up in a different translation so we can keep things consistent and actually understandable. Give me 2 seconds. Go ESV. 1 Timothy. Come on, man. For what? 4:1. All right, 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit expressly says that in later times some will depart from the faith by devoting themselves to deceitful spirits and teachers of demons. Though the insincerity of liars, whose consciences are seared, who forbid marriage and require abstinence from foods that God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth. For everything created by God is good. Ironic that I was just referencing these. Funny how that works. Anything created by God is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving. For it is made holy by the word of God and prayer. That is wildly funny. Wildly funny. So that's what I was referring to with the crystals. You've got it right there in Timothy. You also have Paul talking about it other places. I want to say it's 1st and 2nd Corinthians, but it's at least 1 Corinthians, where he kind of talks about how anything of the earth is God's. So if it turns into a negative thing, it's because people have attached negative things to it. It's not because it's inherently a negative thing. He talked about the same thing with the meat sacrificed to the idols in 1 Corinthians. When the Christians are asking, are we allowed to eat the meat? What if it's sacrificed to idols, false gods? He's like, dude, who cares? It's God's, they're God's animals. Who cares? They're fake gods. What are you worried about? So some people sacrifice meat to a fake god. What's the problem? I was basically, all I'm saying is that the German dude, who I shall not name, who was hired by not a space agency, has Psalm 19:1 on his headstone. Maybe this guy, oh, I got the one. All right, Dakota, honestly, I don't know. It was a Kent Hovind theory to explain why people would have lived longer. Water filter UV rays that cause aging. Interesting. Interesting. All right, then we got Revelation 9:20 through 21. All right, the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent of the works of their hands, nor give up worshiping demons and idols of gold and silver and bronze and stone and wood, which cannot see or hear or walk. Nor did they repent of their murders, their magic arts, their sexual immorality, or their thefts. Back to Enoch, and the woman also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. Other versions this is a note. Other versions read shall become peaceful. Also, another version reads shall salute them. That's interesting because those are very different things, right? The difference between a siren using the term peaceful and shall salute them. If you don't know anything about the siren song, do some research after the stream. It's real interesting stuff. But learn what a siren was in those days. You got verse 3. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the ends of all things, and no man shall see as I have. 1 Peter 4:7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be therefore sober and watch unto prayer. 20. That's an interesting note. I won't harp on it for too long, but there's a big theory in scholarship that many of the players in the New Testament, whether it be Paul or be Peter, some of these big names, there seems to be a pretty good amount of evidence that a lot of them thought the end time was like close in their time. So you see a lot of warnings similar to this. The end of all things is at hand. Saying that back then means that like possibly within my lifetime, if I'm Peter, I believe the end is coming. And you see that a lot. You see that a lot. So it's an interesting thing. Most people don't care. I'm sure most of you don't care. But it's an interesting thing if you look into it. A lot of them seem to think that the end was close in their time. I guess it depends on how much the flood changed our ecology systems. The question is, can we really use the present to interpret the past, or do we assume events like the flood drastically change things? Yeah, I think there's a big problem with trying to interpret the past through a present perspective. I think it's very difficult to do that. But I also think it's kind of a requirement. Unless maybe I misunderstood you. But I think in a lot of ways, it's a requirement. You have to do it. Ooh, sirens, they're mermaids that kill sailors. Jeremiah got it. Yeah. Sirens are wild. If you get into some of the mythology surrounding sirens, it's real, real good. It's real good. Good light reading. Drastically change things. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. The flood did drastically change things. I guess it's possible it could also change the eco as well. I mean, possibly, yeah. Possibly. We're also still looking at it from kind of a worldly perspective, right? We're trying to justify how something could be from in our physical world that would cause it. What if our physical world doesn't need to cause that? Right? Just a thought. Maybe it does. I don't know. But maybe it doesn't. In which case, trying to use the flood or use this or use that or ozone or, maybe it's all unnecessary because maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it's outside of our physical understanding of how things come to be. It's something that science would not be able to measure, would not be able to hypothesize. Of course, Gar knows that. Yeah. Well, they say bugs and stuff were a lot bigger back in the day, because there was way more oxygen in the air or something. Right. So it might have to do with that. I've looked into a lot of that a long time ago when I was doing a bunch of research on dinosaurs. I had to give a mini lecture on basically how do you make Christianity make sense if dinosaurs were real, in both timeline, but also in narrative. And so when I did that, I remember going through some of the stuff of how a lot of animals were a hell of a lot bigger. Crocodiles were massive. A lot of animals were scary big. If we had animals that size today, the world would be a different place. It'd be a much more frightening to a point place. If you had massive bugs, think about a 3 foot long mosquito. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. And we will do the dinosaur discussion at some point. Well, I've been asked about it a few times. All right, I think we're on 20, right? 20. These are the names of the holy angels who watch. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. Scary big. Okay, all right, these are the names of the holy angels who watch. You're real. One of the holy angels who is over the world, turmoil and terror. So they're using the term angel to describe somebody who is turmoil and terror. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Raguel, one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels set over the virtues of mankind and over chaos. Sarakel, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. Ramiel, one of the holy angels who God set over those who rise. Chapter 21. Then I proceeded to where things were chaotic and void. And I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly bounded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together in it, like great mountains and burning with fire. Then I said, for what sin are they bound? And on why have they been cast in here? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me and was chief over them. He said this, he said, Enoch, why do you ask? And why are you eager for the truth? These are some of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and are bound here until 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are consummated. And I went out from there to another place, which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a terrible thing, a great fire there, which burned and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, full of great falling columns of fire. Neither its width or breadth could I see, nor could I see its source. Then I said, I am afraid of this place and cannot stand to look at it. Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said to me, Enoch, why are you so afraid? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said to me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever. Daniel 7:9. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was as white as snow. The hair of his head was as white like wool. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. A river of fire was flowing, coming out from before him. Thousands upon thousands attended him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was slain, and its body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire. Chapter 21. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Chapter 21. And I went out to another place, west, where there was a mountain and hard rock. And there was in 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the holy hollow places, and look deep and dark. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said to me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should be gathered here, that all the souls of the children of men should brought together here. And these places have been made to receive them until the day of their judgment, and until the period appointed, until the great judgment comes on them. You got an author's note. It says this: the idea of a gathering place of the dead is seen in the doctrine of wet purgatory, where the dead are gathered and those who are redeemable are kept and purified until such time they might ascend to heaven. So there's your bit of purgatory. How many modern day churches would even talk to you about the concept of purgatory? Very few. I'm sure they exist, but very few. The only place you could get a real good conversation about purgatory is in a Catholic church or in an Orthodox church, for the most part. There's obviously outliers and some churches who hold some sort of truth or a concept of purgatory, but they're very, very few, right? Very few. All right, let me pop in here real quick. Nope, just nope. Also peaceful at one time. Dinosaurs just didn't make it to Noah's Ark in time. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. All right. Maccabee 12:41 through 45. All men therefore praising the Lord, the righteous judge, who has opened the things that were hid. He took themselves unto prayer and besought him that the sin committed might wholly be put out of remembrance. Besides that, noble Judas exhorted the people to keep themselves from sin, for so much as they saw before their eyes the things that came to pass, for their sins of those that were slain. And when he had made a gathering throughout the company to the sum of 2,000 drachms of silver, he sent it to Jerusalem to offer a sin offering, doing therein very well and honestly, in that he was mindful of the resurrection. For if he had not hoped that they were slain, should have risen again. For if he had not hoped that they... This is why I need to just transfer the ESV. I'm so tired of reading old English. For if he had not hoped that they that were slain should have risen again, it had been superfluous and vain to pray for the dead. And also in that he perceived that there was great favor laid upon for those that died godly. It was in godly and good thought. Whereupon he made a reconciliation for the dead, that they might be delivered from sin. I will pull it up in the ESV next time, I promise, because I'm not doing that again. Verse 4, I saw the spirit of a dead man, and his voice went out to heaven and made petitions. And I asked Raphael the angel who was with me, and I said to him, this spirit which petitions, whose is it? Whose voice goes up and petitions heaven? Who's asking, who gets to talk to God? Who is that? And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew. And he makes his suit against him until his offspring is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his offspring are annihilated from among the children of men. You've got Genesis, not doing the old English, all. Genesis 4, 8 through 12. Let's read it. All right. Cain told Abel his brother, and it came about when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel, your brother? And he said, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? He said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. I love when God asks questions like that. It's like your dead brother is crying to me from under the earth. Where's your brother? Where'd he go? I love God. He's so funny in the Old Testament. All right, now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you cultivate the ground, it will no longer yield its strength to you. You will be a vagrant and a wanderer on the earth. Such a savage. Oh, shoot, it was more. No, we read it all. All right. Back to Enoch, verse 8. Then I asked, regarding all the hollow places, why is one separated from the other? And he answered me and said to me, these three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated. Divisions have been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is the bright spring of water, and one for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Jalen, interesting. The spirit of Abel and will destroy the descendants of Cain. Is that what it's saying? Yes. It's exactly what it's saying. Here the spirit shall be set apart in this great pain until the great day of judgment and punishment and torment of those whose curse forever and retributions for their spirits. You got 2 Peter 3:7. By the same word, the present heavens and earth are reserved for fire, being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of ungodly men. Back to Enoch, verse 12. There he shall bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their petitions, who make disclosures concerning their destruction when they were slain in the days of the sinner. 13. Such has been made for the spirits of the men who were not righteous, but sinners, who were complete in transgression. And of the transgressors, they shall be companions, but their spirit shall not be destroyed in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from here. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who rules forever. All right, let me see. We can probably we'll read two more. We'll read 23, 24, and then we'll just chat or we'll bail for the night. From here, I went to another place, to the west of the ends of the earth. And I saw a burning fire which ran without resting, and never stopped from its course day or night, but flowed always in the same way. So you're picturing this perpetual fire. Think a forest fire that just never stopped. It just always burned. Or actually better, think of a river, but it is a fire. What a phenomenon to us. What a phenomenon. What a wild thing to see. Just this wall of fire moving perpetually. And I asked, saying, what is this which never stops? Then Raguel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, answered me and said to me, this course of fire, which you have seen, is the fire in the west, and is the fire of all the lights of heaven. And from here I went to another place on the earth, And he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burned day and night. I went beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing from each other, and their stones were magnificent and beautiful, and their form was glorious. Three towards the east, one founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, one on the other, and deep, rough ravines, no one of which joined with any other, so all separate. They were all separated. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it was higher than them, resembling the seat of a throne. So you've got like a mountainous throne in the midst of all these other already quite magnificent mountains, as Enoch describes it. And fragrant trees encircled the throne. And among them was a tree such as I had never smelled, nor was any among them, or were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrances, and its leaves and blooms and wood would not ever wither. So this is an eternal tree that obviously smells in a way he's trying to express like it's the type of scent that I've never experienced before. It's something out of this world. And its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms are delightful in appearance. Then Michael, one of the holy and honored angels, who was what? He was with me, and was their leader, spoke this. All right, we're going to read one more. And he said to me, Enoch, why do you ask me about the fragrance of the tree? And why do you wish to learn the truth? Then that's number 2. That's twice. He's been asked now, why do you want to learn the truth? Then I answered him saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. What a quote. I love that, actually. I'm going to pull that and use that later. Then I answered him saying, I wish to know about everything. I identify with that. I want to know about everything. That's all I care about is learning stuff. But especially about this tree. This tree right here. This tree, great tree. I need to know about this tree. All right, I need to catch up, actually. Hold on. So we stopped at the highlight. Spirit of Abel destroy. Okay, I read that. Wow, live learning me thing. Yeah. It's interesting, man. The deeper you get into Enoch, the more you're like, oh, man. And according to the Bible, Canon's genealogy, Enoch is a descendant of Cain. I thought there were 2. There were two. So Abel's spirit was asking for Enoch's killing. Okay, so we're going to, at some point, we're going to have to go into the different Enochs, because I think that was brought up maybe 2 weeks ago. And I believe, and I'll need to double check because it's not something that is really pertinent to what we're talking about. But I want to say we ended up coming to the agreement that it was a different Enoch. I will double check, though. I will double check. Methuselah, savage. Tree of life, potentially. I don't know much about the other tree. Or did I miss it? Or are you guys talking about Enoch still? This is something I want you guys to really think about, though. Enoch, why are we reading Enoch? Because we want to know stuff. Because it matters. It has some kind of significance, right? Enoch wanted to know about stuff. Why? Because he thought it had significance. And he's questioned about it constantly. Why, dude? Why? Why do you need to know? Why do you need to know? Why do you want to learn the truth? Why do you wish to learn the truth? He's like, dude, I want to know stuff. I want to know about everything. This is not perpetuated in Christianity. These concepts, not perpetuated. If you push the envelope on an ideology, if you ask too many questions, you get shut down. Not everywhere. Obviously, there's great Christians, great pastors, great churches all over the place. But we'll call it mainstream. We'll call it generalization, which I don't normally like to do. But if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. I left both a seminary, I left my job as a pastor, all because of these concepts. Why do you ask so many questions? Why do you want to know the truth? Like, dude, what the hell? What else is there? What else is there for me to know but the truth? Why do you ask me what I want to know that? That's shady. That makes me think you don't have the truth. Either you don't have the truth or you have it and you're not going to tell me it. So I'm going to go find it somewhere else. That's why we're in Enoch. Enoch was very inquisitive. Enoch wanted to know stuff. And he's questioned constantly. Dude, why do you need to know? Why do you need to know? Well, I need to know, but also especially about this tree. And he answered saying, this high mountain which you have seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the Holy Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit. When he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it until the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its completion forever. And then we are going back to Genesis 2, 8 through 17. The Lord God planted a garden toward the east in Eden, and there he placed the man whom he had formed. Out of the ground, the Lord God caused to grow every tree that is pleasing to the sight and good for food. The tree of life, boom, also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now a river, how far are we reading? Through 17, okay. Now a river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pishon. It flows around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. The bdellium and the onyx stone are there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It flows around the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Tigris, and it flows east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. TikTok, go to YouTube. Come on, get off of there. Then the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to cultivate it and keep it. The Lord God commanded the man, saying, from any tree of the garden you may eat freely, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat from it, you will surely die. And die they did. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit, we're back in Enoch. And fruit shall be for food to the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. And here we go into Revelation. You got Revelation 22, 1 through 3. Then he showed me a river of the water of life, clear as crystal, coming from the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the middle of its street, on either side of the river, was the tree of life, bearing 12 kinds of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. There will no longer be any curse, and the throne of God and of the Lamb will be in it, and his bondservants will serve him. And that was it, verse 3. Oh, actually, I need that back up. Then they shall rejoice and be glad and enter into the holy place, and its fragrance shall enter into their bones. And they shall live a long life on earth, as your fathers lived. And in their days there will be no sorrow or pain or torment or toil. Then I bless the God of glory, the eternal King, who has prepared such things for the righteous and has created them and promised to give them. Now, notice all of the kickbacks here, all of the references to the canon, all of how it's very connected. Ezekiel 47:12. Fruit trees of all kinds will grow on both banks of river. Their leaves will not wither, nor will their fruits fail. Every month they will bear fruit, because the water from the sanctuary flows to them. Their fruit will serve for food, and their leaves for healing. Their leaves for healing. Take that in. And that's all I'm going to say, because then it gets touchy. All right, that's it. We're going to wrap it up right there for tonight. We're about an hour in. If there's anything about what we read you guys want to talk about, we can do that. If there's anything totally unrelated, we can just kind of hang out for a few. But I will have to pull the plug at like 7:10 ish, I need to get some time with Kat before we work another 60, 70 hours. So let me get this up here. Dangerous for the glass castle. Oh, Mikkel. We are all Enoch. Yes. 100%. I swear, the first time I ever read Enoch, I was like, I identified with this more than I've ever identified with anything in the canon. I love a lot of it. Like Job, I'm in love with Job. I love the book of Job. But I've never identified personally with a character from Christian history as I have with Enoch. The way he processes things, the way he's just asks over and over about the same stuff. He's never satisfied with an answer. He's just always constantly digging and prodding and pushing and poking, and he's just never okay with whatever he gets. I never identify with anybody as much as I have with him. I think he is just a gem. You're Enoch, I'm Enoch, we're all Enoch. Okay, I was just thinking the same. Why all the Apocrypha was taken out? I mean, I have theories about why the Apocrypha was taken out. I feel like y'all know that already. I have spiritual theories for it. Yeah, that's definitely me. Danny, what's the deal with the leaves for healing? Leaves for healing, I don't want to get into the whole because it gets complicated and people get touchy. So think about this, I guess. That many moons ago, right? Many moons ago, what was medicine? Where did we get medicine from? We got it from plants, man. It's the vast majority, if not all, of where we got medicine from up until the pharmaceutical revolution. Then comes in the pharmaceutical revolution. I swear we end up talking about like the government and big pharma and stuff more than anything else. Pharmaceutical revolution comes in, right? And then now it becomes illegal for people to use many different kinds of plants as medicine. Why? Because they're dangerous? Nah, dude, they're plants. They're not dangerous. What you're feeding people through medicine is dangerous, for sure. Do some people need medicine? Yes. And that's why I don't like talking about this. Yes. Some people need medication. I get that. I've been on medication. I have high blood pressure. Sometimes I take medication. People take it. There's nothing wrong with that. But are there plants that can aid you in blood pressure? Yes. Do the powers that be make it hard for people to learn about kind of natural healing? Yeah. And beyond that, though, as far as FDA regulations for things like supplements or things like natural healing agents, the federal government makes it very difficult for these things to be packaged and sold. That's my gripe with all that. And that's why I like when I read things in scripture saying the leaves of the trees were meant to heal you. Because yes, they were. There are leaves from trees, bushes technically, that almost have the same effect on the human body as opiates. So we're talking heroin, Oxycontin, fentanyl. You could be giving these people a 100% natural plant. Is that what we do? No, we put them on Suboxone, we put them on methadone, or we just keep letting them do, heroin or oxytocin, or not oxytocin, Oxycontin and things like that. We love to give people drugs. We don't love to give them plants, even when a plant could do it for that person. Does that mean a plant could do it for every person? No. Or for everything? No. Medications are absolutely godsends in certain situations, for sure. There's my rant on that. Danny, thanks for asking. Now I just pissed half the people off. Oh, Dr. John, dude, it's good to see you. Better late than never. There's no place in the Bible for a man in God's image like Enoch. No, ever. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I feel like there's no place in the church for a man like Enoch, for a man like that which Christ quoted. There is no place for that man in the modern day church. We should do the Thursday study on Pharmakia. So we should. I'll add it to the topic list. We got into Pharmakia a little bit when we did demonology, because we talked a little bit about like sorcery and witchcraft and things like that. So we talked a little bit about pharmacology. I think I played like a video of some real creepy stuff. Real creepy stuff. But yeah, we'll do something on Pharmakia because I know a lot of people in the Discord are into it. It started a whole big conversation and like people telling stories and stuff. It was pretty good. So we'll do that at some point for sure. I'll add that to our list. Did we already vote this week? No. All right. So tonight, hopefully, if not tomorrow, I'll post a poll in Discord too for what this Thursday will be on. All right. I'm going to start closing stuff out. If there's anything else y'all want to chat about, anything that's been on your mind, or questions about obviously what we read, but I get that it's overwhelming in the moment. So next week on this, we'll pick up in 26 and we get into the hollow earth theory, which I actually find super interesting. So I'm kind of excited for that. Oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot about that. So we're going to read ahead a little bit. All right. And then I'll get off. The author's note when we start next Sunday, it says this: the hollow earth theory has been espoused by various groups throughout history. The theory was used to create the book and movie Journey to the Center of the Earth. I totally forgot about that. Hollow, if you don't know what hollow earth theory is, look that up. Look that up. Sheol. I like that. I like where you're connecting right now, Jalen. Big fan. But if you don't know hollow earth theory, obviously look it up when we're done. It's just read a short description of it. But I forgot that Journey to the Center of the Earth, which it was like a kid's movie. I think it had The Rock in it. I could be wrong, but I think it had like The Rock, and it was like this exciting kind of like preteen movie. That's what it was based off of. It's hollow earth theory, which is just kind of funny, you know. All right, let me see. Keep losing stuff. All right, like 5 minutes tops, and then I'm out. So tonight or tomorrow, I'll put the poll up for Thursday. We'll have a handful of topics. Guys, make sure you vote so you get something that you actually want to listen to. And remember also Thursday, you can come on and talk. Luckily, we had it working last Thursday again. That wasn't the problem. Last Thursday, we got booted by YouTube. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But if you're interested in actually coming on and talking, all you have to do is be in the Discord. As soon as we start the Thursday stream, I'll pull up the Discord and I'll show you guys exactly how to get in there and kind of how it works and everything. So if that's something you were interested in doing, we'll make sure that you can do that. You can make tea of dandelions. Yes. We actually have had that in like a powder form, dandelion tea. Admiral Richard Beard. Say who? American naval officer and explorer. He was a recipient of the Navy Cross, the second highest honor for valor given by the United States, and was pioneer American aviator, polar explorer, and organizer of polar logistics. Interesting. Is there anything specific? Is there like a documentary or something, Scott, that people could find if they were so inclined to find more about Richard Beard? It seems to be, Danny. It seems to be. That seems to be the guy. Kat, you would be interested in this, so you might want to look him up. Admiral Richard Beard. Polar explorer. Brandon Fraser. Is that a polar explorer as well? He said he flew into the middle of the earth? No, really? That's wild. See, I'm so behind on like the, conspiracy, quote unquote. I'm not calling them conspiracies, but for ease of conversation, I'm super behind on all that stuff. I expect Kat to keep me up to speed because my head is other places. There's some stuff about him finding the entrance to the hollow earth or something. Wow. I would love to hear or read something about that. If you guys have any good sources for that stuff, please tell me. Because I don't ever have time to go into stuff like that. I need to make some time. So if you guys have like a documentary or a book, send that stuff my way for sure. Because Kat's super into it. So she'd be 100% down to sit and go through that. That's something I should have known. Yeah, you're a bad sailor, Shannon. You should know about all the conspiracy sailor-esque stuff. That is your job.
Oops, I'm sorry. I should ask my husband. Jay knows a lot more than I do.
Yeah, that's true. He's pretty good. He's got his conspiracies on lock.
I'm telling you.
As long as one of you has it, it's all good.
Jones, like, it's a religion.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be careful what I say out in public, but you know how I feel about that fella.
I know.
That big old teddy bear. He claims to have visited the hollow earth at the South Pole with the US government. Interesting. Yeah, if you guys have a documentary or a book, you need to send it to me. Send it to me on Discord. Because now I'm very interested. I'm very invested in this now. If somebody claims to have found the entrance to the hollow earth, I'd love to hear more about that. That's delightful to think about. Brandon Fraser was the guy in Journey to the Center of the Earth. What? Like in the movie? He was the actor? I don't know any actors, so I'm sorry if I look stupid right now. I know like The Rock and I thought I had at least one more. I definitely know more. I'm drawing a blank. Who's the guy in Talladega Nights? Now that's gonna frustrate me. Who's the race car guy? Talladega Nights. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy now.
You really don't know Brandon Fraser?
No, not at all. Let me Google. I mean,
let's see. Encino Man.
Encino. I mean, I'm sure when I see his face. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I know who that is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just don't know names, man. Like I'm so disconnected from pop culture.
Oh, you're good. It's Jerm, by the way.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Hold on.
It's good to hear from you.
I'm gonna mute myself again so I can listen.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, any last minute stuff, guys? So Will Ferrell, God, thank you, Dakota. Jesus, Will Ferrell is probably like one of my favorite actors, just because his type of humor I love it. Like Step Brothers, beautiful. Talladega Nights, beautiful. Whatever that one prison movie he did with, I think it was Kevin Hart. I think it was Kevin Hart. Hilarious. Where he's like preparing for him to go to prison. Hilarious. Will Ferrell is phenomenal. Kat hates Will Ferrell, which means we never get to watch Will Ferrell movies. And I secretly resent her for it.
She can't hate Step Brothers.
Oh, I'm with the wife 100% on that one. I can't stand Will Ferrell.
Oh, he's so funny, dude. Come on.
No, he's not. No,
he's hilarious.
It's guy humor.
It is totally guy humor.
Yeah. I'm over it.
Like, yeah, but Kat is a mechanic. She's a mechanic. She grew up in warehouses. Like I would have expected her to be cool with Will Ferrell, but it's just not her thing.
I grew up with bikers. Like,
well, how about y'all both just get the hell out of here? Get better taste, you know?
How about I just take your wife then?
Take her. What a threat.
I just throw her.
What a
just
threat.
Go somewhere and like away, and then you can take my husband and take him somewhere. Like, I don't care. Like,
God, this sounds like such a horrible arrangement. Shannon, please don't do it. Please don't. No. When are you guys coming here, anyways?
When
are you guys coming?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Well, I know that my parents are going back because they go every New Year's to visit family, to visit my dad's childhood friends. So
this cat said, "Bye, Joe. Hi, Shannon."
Oh,
fair enough. Operation High Jump. Cat, write down Operation High Jump. Scott is giving us something to watch or research or something. I'm not sure. Sounds like some good classified military crap though. Oh, you already know. Never mind, Cat. Someone is playing some weird drums My dog does not like it. Some weird drums. Like at your house? Are you in an apartment? I would hate to live in an apartment next to somebody who had a drum set. Good God.
That's why you gotta get electrical.
That is exactly the thing to do. Yep. That is exactly it. Danny, have a good week, man. We'll see you. We're all about to get off anyway, so.
My dog is just going insane for unknown reasons.
You go, what? That's what your dog does. That's that's their thing.
We'll see. It's normally Spike that's barking, but now it's Milo, and I don't know what's going on with him.
They're ganging up on you guys.
Well, okay, so Jeremiah just left because the boy is obsessed with ices. So he left. So now it's just me, and Ezra's knocked out. So I don't know what Milo's barking at.
Is he just freaking out because Jeremiah left?
No, he never does. I just don't know if he saw something outside and now it's just bothering him. But because there's a lot of kids in my neighborhood, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's why. I'm sure that's why. Mikkel. Yes. Yeah, see, that's a great one. Cat would probably be into that, because that's not like a comedy, really. Stranger Than Fiction, that was a great movie. He played like a relatively serious role pretty well. It was pretty well.
Serious question though, if I'm
Yeah.
able to come to Chicago, would you
Yes.
guys mind a Boston Terrier?
Do you hear yourself asking that?
Yeah,
Do
I
you,
do.
do you hear how dumb that sounds?
Okay, so
I
my
live in a
friend-
zoo. This is a
Okay,
zoo.
so he's my certified service animal, and that's why I'm
God.
asking.
Oh my god.
So I'm actually taking him on a plane with me.
Yeah, no, dude, why not? I mean, if
Okay.
on any month, we have anywhere from 2 to like 5 dogs in this house. Plus all the cats, plus the snakes. Dude, who cares if there's another dog in here?
Okay, he's pretty
Of
cool.
course.
He's like a little psychopath, but he's cool.
No, I want to meet him
How many
anyways.
cats you got?
What's that?
How many cats you got?
4.
All right. I got 8 cats, a dog, and a ball python.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh.
Good god.
No.
No, we do a good amount of fostering. So we've had, I want to say, Cat will correct me, but like 6 or 7 dogs over the past year on top
Oh,
of our dogs. So it's
No, I can't.
That's pretty much how we got our animals. People just dropped them off, or they were abandoned. And
Yeah.
just took them
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's 100%. One of the recent cat that came was a warehouse cat that they just used to like catch mice. So we took her home. Because that's not. She like lived outside in the Chicago winter. Not about it. My cat now. Sorry, guys. Sorry, friends.
Yeah, I love my kids.
They're the best.
I'm
Dude.
allergic to cats, and so is my husband, so that's why we won't have any.
That's what everybody who sucks says, you know?
You know what?
They're very therapeutic, man. They really are.
They are, dude. I hated cats my entire life until I got with the girl I'm with now, and she was into cats, and I finally broke and was like, fine. And now they're the best, dude. Cats are great.
I
Cats are
love
great.
Sphinx cats. They are amazing.
I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. Cats were great.
We have a tortie cat, and it has one eye.
Oh my
And then,
god.
Yeah, someone shot her eye out when she was only like 3 weeks old, and my boss found her in the middle of the street.
Whoa.
She brought her home, and she ran straight to me, and I was like, "All right, God's telling me to take you into my life, so that's what I'm doing."
I'm
God, that's wild. Good for you though.
still
That's
trying to
great.
convince my husband to let me get a Sphinx, so I'm working on it. See?
You're gonna get. Wait, I missed half of that. I was typing. What'd you
I'm
say?
this Christian household, damn it.
I want a Sphinx so bad. I want one so bad.
A Sphinx.
Our best friend has a Sphinx,
God.
and it's adorable.
I mean, they're real cute. Yeah,
See?
they're cute. They're cute. In their own real weird way. They're cute. Every animal needs love, dude. Doesn't matter how ugly they are. You know. They
No,
all
but,
need
like,
loving.
I've never. That's the thing, though. Is like I've never seen. Until
She
I met
muted
Skinner.
you. You never seen what?
Muted me because
She
she
did.
said I can't say that, but I said I've never seen a non-fixed male cat before until I met Skinnerd.
Skinnerd.
That's what they named their
That's what they
cat.
named their Sphinx cat.
Oh wow. That's
Because the first thing that he said was probably going to get muted anyway, so I just wanted to mute
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me put it in a scientific term.
please
I've
do.
never seen a cat's testiculars before.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I can understand. I can understand. Okay. I'm with you.
You know,
I'm sorry, but I still think they're a beautiful, beautiful cat.
I mean,
allergic.
they still are. They
I'm
still
not
are.
allergic to a hairless cat.
It's the dandruff that gets produced from their skin.
Well, then you're just.
All right, y'all.
Weird.
I'm muting everybody. We need to pray. We need to get out of here. I need to spend time with Kat before we go back to work and hate our lives for the next 5 days. So here, give me 2 seconds. I know we had a decent amount of stuff come in. So for those of you that do not know, on the Discord, there's a section for prayer. I personally have no idea how it works. It's way above my head technologically. Sarah can help you. But you can go in there. You can submit a prayer request. You can make a request that is public, and those go in a specific folder that I can read. So obviously it's very public. So if you don't want it to be read aloud during the streams, don't make it public. You can also make it private. The private ones come to the prayer team, which is a group of people that volunteer to do that. And then I think she set up a section recently where certain ones can come just to me. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure some of them can come like just to a folder that I see. If you just want something to come to me, and then me and Kat can take care of you privately. But you got a praise report here. Exciting story about my son. I don't think it's signed, so it might be anonymous. But there's an exciting story about my son. Ever since I found God, I've been trying very delicately to bring my boys to his side as well. Today, one of my boys called and told me that he has been getting a lot of people coming to him and talking about God, which has been one of my prayers, that God would surround him and show proof to them that he is real. My kid said he's been praying every day. One of his friends and him have been going fishing after work daily and haven't really had luck. Today, his friend asked him to pray with him before they went out. He said it was just a prayer of gratitude. They caught 10 huge bass today. Nice. The first time his friend ever caught anything, and more than 2 at a time for my son. God is amazing. And I am so thankful he answered my prayers. 1 down, 2 more to go. Praise God. Prayer request. Pray that God would surround my other 2. Okay, so it's continuing. My other 2 sons and show them proof that he is real. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing as a parent, man. Especially if you have older kids and just like kind of out of nowhere, they come around and they're like, yeah, this makes sense to me now. What a beautiful feeling. We got Rev Catherine. I'm requesting prayer for myself and my husband, as he is having spine surgery on the 25th and will be inpatient for 5 to 7 days, and then move to a physical rehabilitation hospital. They're going through the side of his rib cage to his thoracic spine. God. The surgery is to keep him from becoming paralyzed from the rib cage down. Oh my gosh. Once he recovers, he'll need a second surgery on his lumbar spine. I'm also facing similar surgeries. Guys, please, these are all in the public prayer channel on Discord. If you get a few minutes, man, just go through it and like spend a few minutes covering them. Jenny, my son above in the prayers report, has been having some symptoms such as headaches, slow speech, dizzy spells, and fog brain. He had an MRI done and got the results today. He has, I'm going to butcher this, Chiari malformation type 1. I have no clue what that is. He was diagnosed with sleep apnea when he was 4, and we took him into sleep study due to his sleep walking. This could have also attributed to that. It's usually not diagnosed until late teens or early adulthood when the symptoms persist. It is not serious. Okay, I want to make sure I read that right. And can be managed with medication. He got a shot in his neck today. However, it can get worse. Please pray that Jesus heal him and rids him of all his symptoms and that they do not get worse. I've attached an explanation of this because it's hard to describe in a little amount of time and words. So she's got a link there too. I'm probably going to look at that because I'm curious exactly what that is. We get another prayers report. Brothers and sisters, our sister Jules, or AKA Mocha the Floof. I don't think she's here tonight, but Jules, we love you. Had a praise. The company her the company my husband and I work for. He asked us to live in one of their company houses, rent and utility free. I'm so thankful. Thank you, God. That's awesome. What a sweet deal. Kat and I need to get taken care of by the company we work for like that. Brothers and sisters, our sister Teal, who is also not here, but that we adore, is requesting prayer. I'm about to head to the ER because I may have another blood clot in my right arm. God, that girl can't catch a break. I've been in pain for the past 2 days and it's getting worse. So the telemed nurse said I needed to get checked out to be sure. You can make this public, and public it was made. Teal, we love you. Oh, and she followed up. She does not have blood clots. However, they don't exactly know what's causing the pain, which is still problematic. All right, God, thank you for bringing us all together, letting us have the ability to do this at all. I am phenomenally happy with the way that, not even the way that it's growing, but just kind of the people that we're getting in. We have a really awesome group of people here that are very open-minded, very real. I haven't run into anybody that has come here just to butt heads with either myself or anybody else, and it's honestly shocking, but it's very much appreciated, and it's just really nice. It's just really nice. I really appreciate everybody that's here. I have massive amounts of respect and appreciation and gratitude for all of the people that constantly show up to these things and actually give input in and actually push back on me and don't just accept the stuff that I say. I respect that. I love that. That's why I like doing this. God, we pray for culture at large. I heard some stuff today that just kind of, I know it's bad, man. We all know it's bad. Everybody knows that things are real wicked out there right now. But it seems like anytime I take 5 minutes to try to check in with the news or check in with politics or check in with culture, I just kind of get floored. So we pray for culture at large, that people hold their head out of their butt and start figuring out what is and what is not. We live in a world that some things are real, some things are not. Some people are evil, some people are not. And some people are confused and some people are not. And I pray that people who are confused can begin to regain some reality, get a grip on reality, and start caring about that is moral, man. We're losing moral ground in the country, but also in the world at large. I pray for strong people to take a grip of that again, for strong people to influence what we might call weaker people or more easily influenced people. Let strong people influence them, because what we're seeing right now is we're seeing weak people influence weak people, and what we're getting is a culmination of weak people. But when these weak people gather into large groups, they become strong, and it's causing cultural issues all across the country. So I pray for strong leaders to come forward, for people to use their brain and use their mind and think deeper than the surface level, question things that they're being told and taught, and push back on people who are in positions of teaching or in authority or government or whatever it is, just pushing back for nothing other than what is right, what is moral, and not caring about the consequences. Pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen. I love you guys. I will put that poll up in the next day or two for Thursday. So I'll put an alert out there and make sure you have alerts turned on in Discord, because I don't do them for nothing. I maybe send out like 2 or 3 alerts a week. So it's important. If you actually care to like be a part of the voting process and everything like that, let me know. Or not let me know. Put on the alerts, and then you'll get alerted when I post the poll, so you have input on what we do on Thursdays. I don't like dictating what the topic is. I like you guys to do that. It's a lot more fun that way. Pray for the animals. Crap, Sarah wasn't here. She didn't keep me right. Pray for the animals. Pray for the animals. Are you yelling at me from downstairs? She must be yelling at an animal. All right, I love you guys. I'm out. I love you, love you, love you. I'll talk to you.